What is up, guys? We're back out here again. Got a little bit of a late start this morning. I forgot my phone, my sunglasses, and my keys. So had to turn around, drive all the way back home, pick them up, and now I'm out here. As you can see, it's about 7:30 in the morning, so there's definitely light out. It's been a tough bite. We had the Yamamoto Big Bass Tournament yesterday, and not a whole lot of guys caught big fish. A couple 8-pounders, nothing more. ABA 15 pounds won it. Bass and Lunkers, a 12-pounder was caught, and then 19 pounds won it. So it's a tough day out here. It's been pretty tough out here, but we're gonna go out here today and see if we can't figure it out when everyone else can't. So hopefully that's what happens. Tune in, because hopefully there's gonna be some giants caught. Finning to be some giants caught.
Well, bet you thought we were going out fishing, huh? So, I got to explain that day. That was the first day of practice. The Yamamoto tournament had just happened. There was only like one giant fish that was caught, an 8-pounder. Bass and Lunkers happened. A 12-pounder was caught, and only like 19 pounds won it. But you guys heard that in the last little snippet. But let me just kind of explain what happened that day. Now, this is actually the day before the tournament, and we needed to find fish. We needed to find big fish, and it's been warming up. The fish have been moving shallow, and we knew that in order to win the tournament, we needed to find some solid bed fish. And so what I did was I actually only made like maybe 5 or 6 casts all day long, and caught 2 little rats that you guys will see here. And that was it. I put the trolling motor on 100, and I just covered water. I knew that fish would be up shallow. I knew they'd be sitting on the beds, and so I said, in order for us to win, we got to do this. And so I put the trolling motor on 100 and just went cruising and just went looking for fish. I spent probably 6 hours on the water, searching every single shallow flat that I could think of, and I found one area. That just had a congregation of giant fish, and I mean fish over the 7-pound category. There was probably, I would say, roughly 8 to 10 fish in that 7-pound range, and then I also found one that was probably pushing 10. But we went back the next day during the tournament. We showed up early. We showed up bright and early. Normally we're just barely cruising in before blast off, but we showed up early because we were really anticipating getting to this spot and just catching some giants. And what ended up happening, we had a random boat draw, and of course, when we have a plan in place and we want to get somewhere early, what happens? We get second to last boat to blast off. And so we're sitting there, and we're like, man, something's going to happen. Someone's going to beat us to our spot. I'm sure someone else found these fish. It's the Delta. Everyone fishes everyone's water. And we blast off finally. It seems like it's been light for 45 minutes to an hour already. Everybody's out fishing, and we're hauling and balling to get to our first spot. And we get there. We have to take a 5-mile-an-hour pretty far back. We get there, and lo and behold, there is not a single boat to be seen at all. And we're like, man, this can't be true. Like, there can't actually be no boats back here. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Someone else had to have found this spot, but no, we didn't. We had it all to ourselves. And so we're cruising. The water started off, the tide started off a little low, so we didn't have much water to look at the fish, but we really wanted to get there first so that we can guarantee that we were the only ones that had the opportunity to catch these fish. And we're sitting there cruising around, and I'm going to have to back up a little bit to the morning of the tournament. I show up to my buddy's house to pick up the boat and jet out, and he's over there with his welding mask down on his face, and he's got his rod out and he's welding up this push pole for us. And you guys will see it right here. And that's me holding the push pole. I would hold the push pole. He would cast to a bed fish, and then he would hold a push pole, and I would cast to the bed fish, and we just really thought that we needed to get in there in a very quiet presentation, and that was the quietest thing that we could think of. Just not use the trolling motor, just use the push pole and get in there. And turns out we shouldn't have wasted as much time in there as we did. We spent just about 3.5 hours looking at all these giant bedfish and couldn't get a single one of them to go, and it was very heartbreaking. We were at that point, it was like 10:15, and we've been having this feeling like, dude, we need to go, we can't make this work, we need to go. And finally I was like, dude, we gotta go, this isn't working. So we packed up and we had to go play catch up. We ended up running around the Delta. We fished every single corner of the Delta that we could think of. We ended up finding one bank that just had where most of our fish actually came off of. And it was just a super slow bite for us. We really had to slow down. We threw some wacky worms, and that was really the only thing that we got some bites on. But that's the name of the game, you know. One day you can roll up into that spot and those bedfish, every single one of them will eat, and then the next day, I mean, they're just lockjawed. So the consistent bite for us was just slowing down and throwing a wacky worm, and you know, and we were playing catch up the whole day. We barely had any time to fish, and we ended up squeezing out 14.5 pounds. That put us in like 30th place out of about 100 boats in the tournament. But it also puts us in about, I think it's 24th or 25th place for Angler of the Year points. So we're still in the runnings for that. But we did have one significant fish catch. We're sitting here racking our brains trying to figure out what we can do to get something a little bit bigger quality of fish to bite. And so we run to another spot that's 15-20 minutes away, and we pull in there with maybe 5 to 10 minutes left of fishing, and my fishing partner flips in and just boom, sets the hook on a 5-pounder. So that put our total up at about 14.5 pounds, and we weren't able to squeeze out a check, but you know, sometimes that's how it goes. And you know, just want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and don't forget to hit that little bell thing on there. It tells you when my videos come out. It's a thing YouTube's doing now. But also want to give a huge shout out to Ryan Hall and Chris Perez. Man, they whacked them up at this tournament. You can check out their page at the Idle Out. They weighed in like 21 pounds, and it was good enough for a 4th place check. So check out those guys. They're good friends of mine, and they took a good check home in this tournament. So like I said, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Peace.